just when you think Tisa Tells couldn't outdo herself, she does it again, alleging that Sean P. Diddy Combs and Kanye West are starting freak-off films. Ladies and gentlemen, this don't make no sense. Let's get into some of this straight game.
Life is like the cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy Delray Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, click on what appears to be that little bell notification if you like to be one of the first people notified of when I drop some of the Straight Game. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit that thumbs up button. It helps the channel to get out to more people, ladies and gentlemen. It helps the algorithm recognize some of the Straight Game that we kicking over here. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to get right into this one. Man, you know, this is kind of borderline, not even funny no more. You know what I mean? When you sit back and you really think about what's going on here with this Tisa Tells thing, ladies and gentlemen, it is not even funny anymore. It is like, it's disrespect to everybody who does real research and comes up with real facts and real information to try to bring out to the public, ladies and gentlemen. Tisa Tells is now claiming that sources she doesn't identify has given her information as to Sean P. Diddy Combs and Kanye West starting some kind of film company called Freak Off Films, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. This is preposterous. This is crazy than crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, Straight Game TV, where we're going to give you nothing but the unfiltered truth with receipts, not rumors. Like I said, your boy Delray Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV, ladies and gentlemen. So listen, according to self-proclaimed investigative journalist Tisa Tells, Kanye West and Sean P. Diddy Combs are supposedly launching a freak-off films production company in a desperate attempt, according to Tisa, to reclaim their billionaire status. Try not to laugh, y'all. Try not to laugh. This is what Tisa Tells is alleging now, right? Yes, you heard it right. You heard it right. And no, she offers zero proof, no business filings, no verified trademarks, just gossip disguised as journalism, ladies and gentlemen. And she wants you to come in and sit down and shut the door behind you with this here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm perplexed, man. I'm like, man, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Like, what in the hell? You know, I don't understand. You know, it's like it's the return of Tisa Tells. What I say? The return of Tisa's tall tales. That's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it the return of Tisa's tall tales, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Let's start with the obvious. Right? Tisa Tells has a track record of spreading unverified, inflammatory claims. This isn't about honest commentary or journalism. It's about attention. It's about attention, ladies and gentlemen. Shock value and algorithm chasing, right? And this latest claim is pure fiction, ladies and gentlemen. It's pure fiction. It's pure fiction. These sources that she claims that, you know, that she has, you know, they're fiction. They're made up. She offers no evidence, no documentation, no business filings, none of these things, right? She just comes out and says it. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, Tisa Tells claims her sources say that Diddy and Kanye are teaming up to produce what she calls freak-off films. Not only is this extremely defamatory, it's irresponsible, ladies and gentlemen. It's irresponsible. And like I said, once again, when you think about the big picture, it's like she's offered no proof, no real proof. Where are the documents, ladies and gentlemen? Where's the EIN number, right? Where's the business registration? Where's the proof? So just coming up and using Diddy name, using Kanye name, and then coming with these baseless stories that are just like, by all or anybody's imagination, is just pure fiction. Pure fiction, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, look, you can't just say things like that without receipts. You can't say somebody starting freak off films and hopes to become a billionaire or to regain their billionaire status again, right? You can't say that without receipts unless you're trying to inflame the public and destroy reputations, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Alleging, some kind of freak off films, meaning like, the P word with the orange, right? Yeah, that's crazy. Like I said, no proof, no EIN number, no business registration, no none of those things. Just pure gossip, right? And like I said, the desperation narrative, why it's nonsense, right? You got to understand, why is this desperation narrative nonsense, right? Let's unpack the the desperate billionaire narrative. You know what I mean? Because this is what she posted on her video. The desperate billionaire narrative she's selling. First off, both Diddy and Ye have lost major business deals in recent years. But let's not confuse financial hits with total collapse, ladies and gentlemen. Right? And it's like, we don't know, to be perfectly honest, how much money Diddy got. We don't know, to be perfectly honest, how much money Kanye got, right? But like I said, once again, to start some kind of freak off films production company or something like that in order to regain their billionaire status without any paperwork, without any proof, just saying it. Wow. No wonder that video didn't really do good numbers. But like I said, I must, when I see these inconsistencies and these desperate attempts to try to excite the algorithm, the clickbait titles and things like that, I gotta chime in because, like I said, once again, it's making it hard for people like myself who just want to tell you the truth. Whether it gets 5 views or 5 million views, I just want to keep you informed. And if I don't have nothing to say, I'm not going to say nothing. That's what we do on Straight Game TV, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, let's not confuse taking a financial hit with total collapse, ladies and gentlemen. Diddy still owns a lot of things that we're not aware of. Number one, his Star Island mansion, worth about 20 to 30 million. He outright paid that out before he went to prison. So if nothing else, the house in Homely Hills, the one that they raided, right? That's worth about 60 million, right? That was the asking price. So that was like $90 million. Like I said, once again, ladies and gentlemen, and we haven't heard about Diddy taking any kind of loans or anything like that. As a matter of fact, we don't even know how much money that he got for settling the lawsuit with the liquor company. So once again, taking a financial hit does not equal total collapse, ladies and gentlemen. For anybody who listens to this, who may have ran into a little financial trouble once or twice in your life or whatever, you know what I mean? That, you had some trouble, but that didn't mean you were wiped out, right? Like I said, once again, that's why this narrative is so crazy and dangerous, if you will, right? Listen, I need you to understand this. And the claim that they're launching an adult film a company called Freak Off Films to claw their way back to the top. That's not reporting. That's projection. She's projecting something that, whatever that is, Yeah, people that do that, they do that. It has no rhyme and no reason. You know, you come in and shut the door, sit down and shut the door behind you because she gonna have to tell you something. But she's not gonna show you or reveal none of her sources. She's just gonna say that, right? It's crazy, right? Listen, y'all. There is zero evidence, ladies and gentlemen, that either man, Diddy or Kanye or anybody else, is producing a sex tapes for profit. That's a heavy allegation with real consequences, right? And then yet to dish it off to a source, right? Yet Tisa throws it around recklessly with no accountability. None. Zero. And then you have people who act like, who want to chime in, like I say, and act like they on Tisa Tells' side and this, that, and the other. Like, y'all, stop it. Stop it. You know, like I say, I get it. You know, when the case was going on, when the trial was going on, people were reporting and things like that. And like I said, this is not in defense of Diddy. This is in the defense of the insulting of people's intelligence and mine included. When this pops over my thing, I'm like, what? What the hell is, what, hold on, man. Like, is she running out of topics? What's really going on, right? So, once again, there is zero evidence that either man, Diddy or Kanye, is producing sex tapes for profit. Like I said, it's a heavy allegation that comes with real consequences, yet Tisa throws it around recklessly with no accountability, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. This is what YouTube has come to. Like, people saying anything, people barely saying nothing, if you will. Like I said, you got people trying to jump on the bandwagon, trying to use my picture and trying to act like they're giving commentary about something that I said. But when you can point out something that I lied about, right, from that perspective, or were inaccurate about, then you have something to talk about. Other than that, the algorithm is not going to agree with you. You're going to do very little numbers because what you're saying is not effective or efficient or even educational or informing, right? So one has to understand that. Listen, the real motivation behind these claims, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand this. So why does Tisa Tells keep pushing these lies? You got to ask yourself that question. Why does Tisa Tells keep pushing these lies? These are outright lies. I can call them that because that's what they are. Period. Point blank. Right? She's not a journalist. Number one, she's not a journalist. Right? Right? She doesn't cite sources. She doesn't cite her sources. She says sources, but she never cites the sources. She doesn't verify facts. And she admits to never reading court transcripts, yet gives opinions as if she's a federal prosecutor, ladies and gentlemen. This is serious. This is serious, y'all. Look, like I said, and what you need to understand more importantly is that she's chasing views. She's chasing views. As you see the various topics that come up, she's chasing views, and she pretends that she knows something about something deeper than everybody else knows when she really knows nothing. It's just the regular news cycle, ladies and gentlemen. It's the regular news cycle. Like I said, there's a way to articulate the regular news cycle, right? And give certain aspects of your opinion and allow people to critically think after giving your opinion and ask certain questions that they might not have thought of that you can offer them by being a commentator, right? It's that simple, right? But like I said, she's chasing views. Let's be real. Diddy and Kanye equal clicks. Right or wrong, y'all? Diddy and Kanye, their name equal clicks. The more outrageous the claim, the more the algorithm rewards. The more outrageous the claim, the more the algorithm rewards. And like I say, we understand that. But see, the algorithm gets to a point where it's like, hold on. You know what? Then the algorithm starts to look at the feedback and say, hold on, we're actually, no, this is not working, right? And they stop rewarding bad actors, right? Like I said, the cream will rise to the top. You can count on that, ladies and gentlemen, like I said before. So when one understands that, one will be informed enough to know and make better decisions at the information they choose to digest, right? Another thing, Tisa Tells is weaponizing fake outrage. She's weaponizing fake outrage, ladies and gentlemen. Kanye and Diddy, starting freak off films. Like what? The source told her. Amazing. Wow. Right? So would they turn a negative into a positive? We don't need, that's what you got to ask yourself. Is that turning a negative to a positive? Freak off films productions or company or whatever you want to call it, right? Tisa Tells is weaponizing fake outrage. Tisa knows what triggers people. Celebrity downfall, sexual allegations, scandal. She manipulates that for profit, plain and simple, ladies and gentlemen. Plain and simple. Conspiracy theories make a lot of money. They do. They do. Like I said, once again, makes a lot of money. And so in order for you to keep making that money, right, then you got to come up with more conspiracy theories. And you got to get more outrageous and more outrageous and more outrageous with your claims as you go before, guess what? You run out of rages. You get it? Outrageous. You run out of rages, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's real. That's just the lyricist in me. You know what I mean? The play on words. But it's real. You see what I'm saying? And so when you understand that, you're going to understand that accountability matters, ladies and gentlemen. Accountability really, truly, honestly matters, right? This is not about defending Diddy or Kanye from consequences, ladies and gentlemen. If they've done wrong, let the real evidence speak. You know what I mean? If Diddy done wrong, let the real evidence speak. The evidence has spoken. He was found guilty on 2 counts of the Mann Act, right? So if, Kanye, let the real evidence speak. But slandering black men with wild claims of porn empires and freak-off franchises without facts is damaging. Not just to them, but to the entire idea of honest journalism, right? Think about that for a minute. Diddy's in jail right now, right? Kanye West, he's free. I haven't heard him talk about no freak-off films, from his mouth or nothing like that, right? Tisa Tells isn't informing anyone. She's playing a dangerous game. She's undermining real victims and real cases by flooding the public with misinformation, y'all. That's all I come here to do. Like I said, as a person, I don't know Tisa Tells as a person. So I don't dislike Tisa Tells. Let's be clear about that. We're talking simply about the business of information, YouTubing, podcasting, and trying to disseminate information in which help people based on the fact that the mainstream media, whom we've come really not to trust because they choose strange bedfellows and the people that they align themselves with to give you half of the story. And we've seen that during the Diddy trial, right? So this is one of those moments, ladies and gentlemen, where we can sit back and say, hey, you know what? Tisa Tells isn't informing anyone. She's playing a dangerous game. She's undermining real victims. Once again, remember it was about the victims? In front of the courthouse, it was about those victims. Now, it's back to the rat race. You know what I mean? Let me say the most craziest things I possibly can. You know what I mean? And hopefully people going to listen and chime in and give me what they call it, things like the little donations and things that they give out. Right? Yeah. Like I said, the only thing that I ask for over here is your time. People want to give donations, cool. You know what I mean? We not banking on that, ladies and gentlemen. We banking on that this straight game is going to keep you in tune and keep you engaged with what we doing over here. Like I said, we might not always win everybody, but the people that we do win, those people are usually winners already in their own life. and they don't need nothing else but to hear something that's gonna, guess what, make them better, help them make an informed decision, and say, hey, you know what, I heard this right here. This is what I heard from right here, and guess what? And can know that it's reliable because over here we've done the research. Like I said, this is Straight Game TV. We don't do fiction. We give you the truth with the kind of transparency and receipts that platforms like Tisa Tells never bother with. Like I said, even during the trial, she said, I don't want to see the transcripts. That's the most reliable piece of information that you can get as to the accuracy of what's being testified to in court. She didn't want to see it. She wanted to write her own notes to come out there and spill out her own narrative. That let me know everything I needed to know about Tisa Tells at that moment. Like I said, this is not about not liking Tisa Tells. I don't know her personally, right? So let's not get that twisted. And, people come and say, well, won't y'all? No. This is a battle for information. This is a battle for viewers based on the truth, right? Not based on lies. And so understanding that in that battle, right? This is what happens when someone tells a lie, an outright lie, about something that doesn't even exist. So it's not even a lie because it don't even exist. But okay, that's what we call it in pop culture, if you will, right? Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to the channel, Straight Game TV. Hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, Kanye West and Sean P. Diddy Combs, like I said, this is not about defending them. This is not about defending Diddy or Kanye West from consequences. Like I said, if they've done anything wrong, let the real evidence speak. But the slander and the lies and the made-up stories and the fantasies, right? There's no place for that. Like I said, once again, your boy Delray, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Straight Game.
Life is like the cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother